This is Grow a Garden Zombie Pet, and it doesn't exist. Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble like that, but even with how cool this thing is, you aren't able to obtain it actually in-game. However, that might not be the case for long, as I have reason to believe that maybe zombies as a whole could play a lot bigger role in Grow a Garden, and that could include the introduction of a zombie pet. However, why would Grow a Garden even have a zombie event? I mean, after all, it's not like the game is known for these retro-looking zombies, right? Well, with the release of the Pet Mutations update, certain events have come to light that maybe a zombie update is closer than we think. In this video, we will be going over everything you need to know about how zombies are overtaking Grow a Garden, which is a sentence I don't think I've ever heard before, and why we just may see a zombie pet as well as a zombie-themed event in the future. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so our story begins with one pet in particular, that being the chicken zombie. This pet was created in the midst of all the chicken jockey hype surrounding Minecraft, as a fun reference to that, and its abilities reflect both the zombie as well as the chicken that make up the pet. Periodically, the chicken zombie will apply the zombified mutation to one of your plants randomly, and on top of that, it would also speed up the growth of other placed eggs developing and hatching, which is actually the ability of the normal chicken pet you can obtain from like common eggs or something. Now, the chicken zombie is quite a versatile pet, but even though its existence was merely to utilize the hype around the chicken jockey meme at the time, one question still remains. That being, what is up with the zombie riding on top of the chicken? You see, up until the point this pet was added, zombies were basically unheard of in Grow a Garden, and even with this pet, it was the only instance of a zombie being seen in the game. After all, these retro-looking zombies don't really fit design-wise with everything else seen in the game. They don't even have that goofy stud texture on them. So, although it was a little odd for this random zombie to be part of a pet, it was probably just a one-off thing for this one pet, right? Well, that is what I would have said, until I saw this. Yeah, those are fully grown, absolutely massive zombies purely inside of Grow a Garden. Something isn't right here. As you may know, a Minecraft chicken jockey is made up of a baby zombie riding a fully grown chicken. So it's safe to assume that the zombie in the chicken zombie pet, which is based off Minecraft's chicken jockey, is also a baby zombie. However, with these fully grown zombies in Grow a Garden now, it means we now know what the baby zombies look like when they reach adulthood. And let me just say, when this happens, they gain a very unique ability. Okay, so before I reveal what that is, I think I should go over how I managed to find these adult zombies in the game. As you may know, prior to an update release, the Grow a Garden developers spun admin-only events, which allow players to gain extremely rare and unique mutations. One of these new events added in this update was the Zombie Invasion, and it's one of the most unique by far out of all the events. When the event starts, a giant Jandal NPC will spawn wielding a staff, turning the entire sky green. Afterwards, Jandal will use the staff, causing a horde of giant zombies to spawn in each garden. These zombies possess a very unique ability, that being they will give your fruit the infected mutation, which is quite good if I'm being honest. However, these zombies also carry another functionality. If a player touches one, or are touched by one, they too will become infected and become a zombie. And then, those infected players can spread the infection to other players, turning the whole server into an army of zombies. After a while though, the Jandal NPC as well as the adult zombies will leave. However, any infected players will remain zombies even after the event concludes. Now, based on that description, you may have noticed a few things. For one, the Zombie Invasion event has a lot more effort put into it than the other events, such as rain or windstorms. Not only was the Jandal NPC given unique animations and particle effects, but an entire infection system was also coded for players to become and turn others into zombies. This could be a hint that maybe this event is a clue towards having a greater purpose later on down the line. But more importantly, its existence solidifies that zombies are an important part of Grow a Garden as a whole, as now there are two instances of them being present in the game. Those being on the chicken zombie pet as I've previously described, and of course from this new zombie invasion event. So, with that being said, let's discuss the zombie pet I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, as well as the potential for an entire zombie-themed event. Let's just say that hypothetically, just like we've had a prehistoric and bee-themed events, sometime down the road we will get one themed around zombies. What would a zombie pet even do if it were implemented as a part of this event? Well, in addition to visually looking like and moving like these adult zombies seen during the zombie invasion event, a zombie pet would likely function like the cooked owl. However, it instead would apply the zombie-themed mutations currently in the game. As I've stated, the chicken zombie pet applies the zombified mutation to plants, and the zombie invasion event allows plants to receive the infected mutations. So, similar to how the cooked owl can apply the burnt mutation whilst rarely applying the cooked mutation, this hypothetical zombie pet could apply the zombified mutation just like the zombie chicken pet, whilst rarely applying the infected mutation as it's rarer than the normal zombified mutation. Of course, though, given how powerful the infected mutation is, given how it could only be spawned by admin events, so right now it's currently very rare, the zombie pet would likely have slower rates than the chicken zombie of applying mutations. But even with this conceptual functionality, a potential zombie pet could still be useful, whilst totally not making the chicken zombie useless, as the chicken zombie has an entirely different functionality in the form of a faster zombified mutation application, as well as allowing eggs to hatch faster due to the chicken the zombie is riding on. I'd also like to mention that the existence of a zombie event wouldn't just include a zombie pet, but also other features. For example, there could be a zombie egg, which in addition to hatching a zombie pet rarely, it could also hatch zombified versions of other pets seen in the game, like the raccoon, as that could reflect how players can spread the zombie infection to other players during a zombie invasion event, only this time it's spread to other pets. All in all though, all I'm trying to say is that the existence of both the chicken zombie pet, as well as the zombie invasion admin event, could hint at zombies playing a bigger role within Grow a Garden, and that could mean the zombie characters seen in the zombie invasion event could be turned into a usable pet that may apply the two currently existing zombie-themed mutations into your plants, similar to how the cooked owl works with the burnt and cooked mutations. I'd also like to mention that a full-scale zombie event could also introduce zombie versions of iconic pets and characters within the game, given the whole zombie infection mechanic. Just remember that this is mostly just all theory crafting and speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised if a zombie event was added given the evidence in-game so far, as well as the prevalence of zombies. Anyways, with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of a zombie event coming to the game, as well as this hypothetical zombie pet, as it is quite powerful and I'm wondering how it could be nerfed to suitably fit the game. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.